Very pumped to welcome our next guest to Off the Podium today. A history maker. We love history makers on this show. Earlier this year, she created history by becoming the first Australian to ever podium in an international cross-country skiing event. She finished second in the Junior World Championships. I'm so excited to learn about that experience and her journey in general in the great sport of cross-country skiing, because you know we love cross-country skiing on this show, and I'm always excited to speak to somebody from that sport. It's a pleasure to welcome Rosie Fordham to the show. Rosie, welcome to Off the Podium.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to have you, Rosie, because earlier this year, that was a big story. This is a story that I think was crossing barriers in Australia, because we don't often hear news about cross-country skiing, and particularly on places like the ABC and places like that. So, it's a big deal when the ABC are picking up. I want to start with that. Let's start with the big news, because, have you recovered yet? That obviously such an amazing achievement to get on the podium in cross-country skiing. But months afterwards, I'm sure you're still buzzing from that achievement.
Yeah, I think so. I just went home for the last 2 months I was at home, and every time I walked, I sort of forgot about it. And then I walked into the Nordic shelter at Perisher, and there's a big poster of me on the wall. And I was like, whoa. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did that. And so it was kind of like a second hit for when I went home from everybody in the community. I was like, oh, yes. Yeah. That was really cool. I don't really know what else to say.
That happened. Wow. Fantastic. Because I was watching the footage of it, and just so many layers to it, Rosie, from your reaction, crossing the line, and everything that happened afterwards. And just, I love the fact that when you cross the line, you were so buggered, and yet this camera is in your face, like literally almost like basically swallowing you whole. And you just have this moment of realization where you're catching your breath, and you look at me, you're smiling, and then it just feels like it's like that's the moment that's almost hitting you. The myriad of emotions that you're going through in that period when you cross the line just looked incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I think they never let your friends come into the little pen. There's a little pen, and it's like the finish spot, and no one's allowed in. And I look up from I lean over my poles, and I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. I look up, and my whole team is running in. And I was like, why are they letting them in? They don't let anybody in ever. That's crazy. And then I was like, oh, this must be crazy. The boys are jumping there. They're like, can we go? Can we go? And the lady's like, okay, yeah, you can go. And I was like, okay, this must be just insane if, they're going to
let all right. You realize at that point.
My team come in and give me a hug. It's like something big must have happened. I'm not sure I really quite comprehend it yet, but.
Wow. And I love the fact too that when you sort of shown celebrating, and the fact that you're trying to call your mum, and then I think it's at one point one of your teammates, I don't know if she realized she's on camera or not, but she's basically going yeah, I'm watching all the times, and we were like, shit, they're going really, really well, and you kind of almost look in the camera as if to say you're on camera right now, but who cares? Yeah. Just everything with that. Did you got a hold of your mum eventually though, I guess, after that?
Yeah. Well, what was happening was I went back to my phone, and I looked at my phone, and the Australian ski team chat is just going crazy, and I was like, whoa, I don't want to look at that. And then I sort of tried to call my parents, they were back home, and they weren't picking up, but they were calling me, and I was calling them, and they were calling me. And it happened 5 or 6 times. And so then I was like, and then you sort of get stuck in that little area. And I'm like, well, I still need to probably call my mum to say, to tell her what happened. I had a lot of teammates in there from my team, but also from my college team in the US. One of my teammates was 4th. So she was in there, and her mum was there, and a bunch of people I know all around the place. So it was pretty hectic, but I did eventually get hold of my mum and also my brother. So that was good. Everybody I got the phone calls before we got the medal eventually.
So everyone was up to date at that point. To clarify, I should mention that this was in the under 23 World Championships in Italy. This was in the 10 kilometer interval start free. Now, just can you give us a brief rundown of how grueling that has been? I feel that's a dumb question to ask a cross country skier, because every event is grueling, of course. But give us a rundown of that event and what made you so good that day in terms of why you ended up on the podium.
Yeah, so the interval start event is kind of it's a time trial. So in cycling, I guess, is the best example. You start separately from everybody else. We start at 30-second intervals. So the problem with the time trial format, or the benefit of the time trial format, is you never really quite know where you are. So you kind of just have to go all out. And you can't ever ease off, because you never know if someone behind you is going to come and overtake you. So we get a few splits, but I was pretty early in the start list. So they kind of sometimes in the start, and in this case, they had like the sort of medium fast people at the start. Then they alternated the really fast people and the kind of like decently fast people in the middle. And then they had all the like slower people at the end. That's kind of how they like seeded the race. And I was kind of in the like decently fast group, I guess. The really fast people were in between me and the other people. And only 2 of them had gone. So one of them was my teammate from the US over here. She was 3 bibs ahead of me. And then the girl who was 1 bib ahead of me was like considered in the sort of fast group. And that's based on international ranking. So everybody who was really good was behind me pretty much. So I'm kind of like left guessing. We have people out there with stopwatches and the live timing, and it updates really quickly. So you do get told where you are. So I knew I was in the lead, but because everybody fast is behind me, I was kind of like, oh, I'm in the lead now. Yeah, I'm beating my teammate from the US, but that's kind of it. There's a bunch of people behind me. I'm going to get bumped. It's kind of no worries. And so you just sort of keep skiing as hard as you can to try to maintain position or gain position. But because of the format, you have no real idea until the race is over where you finish. And yeah, I guess the other part of the question, why is this event good? And for me, I think the 10K is kind of unique. We were talking about this with my college coaches over in the US, me and this other girl, Kendall, who was 4th that day. We both run at college. So we run 6K cross country. And that's about 20, 21 minutes of hard, intense effort. We do that every week in sort of August to October, or not anymore, but we used to. And we've seen a conversion across from the running 6K to the 10K, because with the downhills, you're working for about the same amount of time at the end of the day. And so I think that's part of it. But I've also always been better at skating, which is the free technique. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, 10K seems to suit me. And it was pretty terrible conditions that day. So I think that also played into it. It made it more of a grind, less of you couldn't really recover and relax, and less maybe like technically advantageous if you had like a particularly beautiful technique. My technique is not great. I'm pretty good at climbing, but I'm pretty bad on the flats. But because there was so much snow, we used a lot more of the climbing technique that day. Right. And so that helped me out a lot. And I'm always happy when there's big hills and they're covered in snow, because it means I don't have to show my weaknesses on the flats. Yeah.
Because I was going to mention about the weather conditions, that it did look pretty harrowing in terms of that. And it, you know, like I don't know in terms of cross-country skiers. I'm sure there are some who absolutely love conditions like that, but I guess on the norm, you want it to be nice and clear and not necessarily having snow blowing in your face for the entire 10 kilometers.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't mind the bad conditions. We have like some pretty atrocious winds and snowstorms in Australia skiing. But it is much easier and much faster and like arguably more fun to ski when it's clear, because the grooming's hard, the snow is fast, you don't have to like waste energy, and you kind of like sit on top of the snow. I think actually the thing I was really worried about that day was we had this kind of like S-bend downhill, and you couldn't really see. There was like no real definition happening in the tracks. And I had like snow on my glasses, and then I took them off and I couldn't see. And I was really like trying to make this corner, which seems silly. Like, of course we make corners all the time, but it was like a bit deep in sections and soft in other sections. And there was clear bits and you couldn't really quite see where you were making this turn. And I was like, well, just get down the hill. Like, let's not fall over here. But yeah, I think it's kind of like we race in everything. We've had some pretty bad conditions and pretty great conditions. So, I mean, you kind of have to be used to it. But in general, it's a lot nicer to be out there suffering when you've got like the nice sunshine and, you know, you can see nice mountains and things when you
it adds to the scenery, right? You know, taking the serenity after a famous Australian movie, of course, you would probably save that there. It must make it interesting, though, to not fully know where you are. So, like, you mentioned that when you cross the line and you see everyone running towards you, like, oh, this must be good. But can you get a gauge that it's going to be that good, like that you're on the podium?
So I did know I was on the podium, but I just didn't believe my friend who was telling me. So I came through the splits on the first lap and I was in the lead. And I was like, well, that's good. I'm in the lead. Great. Well, there's all these people behind me. And it was a 3-lap race. So then I came through the second lap And our team coach, who is really just a friend of mine who I skied with in past years, and he's sort of just stopped skiing and started coaching the juniors. He was on the hill and he said like, oh, you're in the lead, but you're beating all the Norwegians and all the Swedes and you're beating everyone. And I was like, okay, sure. That's a backsplit. That's from 1K. There's no way they're going to beat me.
Yeah.
And I came through the stadium, and actually what made me clue onto it was I heard this British guy screaming at me. And I sort of know him, but we weren't like friends. And we sort of just like are acquaintances on the circuit at that time. And he was like just screaming. I was like, well, if Gabe is screaming, then this must be really good. And I'm like, okay. And then I heard our wax tech telling me like, you're in the lead and there's only one other person who's even in the conversation. And I was like, whoa, okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll just ski hard and all photographers are taking pictures of me too. And I was like, wow, all right, well, I think I'll just keep skiing. So I started to hear sort of on the third lap, everybody started cheering. It wasn't just my friends. It was like all the countries and then like just all these people. So I was like, okay, well, I must be really doing quite well. And I get to the bottom of the hill and my friend Hugo, who's on the team, and he's had like a shocker that morning. He starts just like running next to me and screaming at me. And he's like, you have to get up this hill right now. And I was like, okay, yeah, like I get it. Sure, I'm trying really hard. And he's like, you're on the podium. You have a medal. There's nothing to stop this. Like, you just have to get up this hill. And he starts like, nobody could hear anything. It was really loud on this hill. And there's a bunch of people you can like in the way. There's like lap traffic and people I'm trying to pass. And he starts like being like, get out of the way, get out of the way. And I was like, oh, they can't see you.
Wow.
I'm trying to call track. They can't really hear me. So I end up like taking the inside line. And just the whole way up the hill, he was like yelling at me. And I was actually just like, oh, can he just go away? Like, I need to get, like, I'm done with being yelled at. And I was like, I get it. It's really good. And then I was like, okay, just don't fall. I think it's pretty good. But I didn't like quite fully believe him. I was like, oh, sure. Like it has to be good, but it can't be that good.
Yeah. Wow. What an incredible story. It makes that footage even better now, Rosie, seeing just all the reaction and everything along those lines. Did you quite fathom though the history? Like, I mean, how quickly were you told that this is the first time Australia has ever finished on a podium at an international cross-country skiing event?
Yeah, I definitely knew that. I think podiums, like, being in skiing and learning how to ski, that was always out of the question. It was like, we were sort of always aiming for top 30s. That's the big thing. It's like a random sort of arbitrary measure, but on World Cup, top 30 is kind of like the measure of elite skiing, I guess. And so it's always like, let's get top 30s, let's get top 30s, let's get top 30s. And top 30s have historically been quite rare. And then last year I was 19th at in the 20K at the U23 World Champs. And that was the equal best result. So I knew that I wanted to be better than that. I was like, oh yeah, cool. But I definitely, when I got on the podium, I was like, there is zero chance ever that anybody's ever done this. Like that was sort of something that I think everybody in the country and in the community had like written off as an opportunity, like an option. Like we weren't even ever in the conversation for getting medals at anything.
And it must then be pretty awesome to know that you will always go down in history as that first person to ever achieve that for Australia. No one can ever take that away from you, Rosie.
That's actually true. Yeah, I guess I never really thought of it like that. I think it's cool to know that like when I was growing up, you never looked and skiing, you never saw someone and be like, oh, I could potentially be on a podium somewhere. It was like, oh, maybe I'll get on World Cup. That would be cool. And so I just think it's so cool now that like when I go home and talk to the like 10-year-olds, they're like, oh, I could be on a podium. And I'm like, yeah, totally. Absolutely. So I thought that was kind of the thing I first thought of was like, oh, it's really sick that now like we know where the limit has been pushed. And one of my teammates texted me that day. It was like the first text I read was from one of my teammates. And he said like, anything is possible now. And I was like, oh, you're so right. Like I didn't even think about it. And then I was like, oh, it is like that's something we sort of like unlock something like for everybody.
Great way of looking at it. Yeah. I mean, just so many layers of that. And as I said at the beginning, like for it to make mainstream news in Australia, which is, hard enough for any winter sports and let alone for this to kind of happen on that level and to be on posters when you get back. I mean, things along those lines and that sort of stuff. Just in terms of like what that does for you on that confidence level. I'm really jumping ahead here to something I usually ask at the end here, but we're on the topic right now, Rosie. But like we're recording this in August right now, and obviously there's a certain event happening also in Italy in about 4, 5, 6 months or so time. But I mean, does that sort of add to a layer of confidence going into what you hope will be an Olympic debut appearance in a couple of months?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's cool to sort of be in the realm of like, I guess, like legit skiing and have like a shift towards the skiing from Australia. Like we've had some really good results across the team. And so now it's like being seen as like, oh, we can compete here. And like obviously I have a lot more confidence going into something now than like my first World Cup season. I was like at back end of the field always. And now I'm kind of like climbing my way up. And then to have a U23 medal, it's like, okay, like I'm legit. I actually like deserve to be here and I can compete with these people. And, I mean, cross country skiers, it's a bit later that you become sort of, especially on the women's side, like you take to your full potential. So, obviously, like not expecting to be at the top in a sport where the women who, the women who are excelling are all like in their 30s or late 20s. But it gives you sort of like a future that you can look at and be like I know people who are really good who never got medals at U23s, and so to be like, oh, I could be like them. That's no problem. Like I achieved something similar or better than people who are at the top end of the field. Because
I guess on that point, what you're saying about generally sort of almost a ceiling for Australia was a top 30. You've achieved 4 top 40s alongside what you're saying before in World Cups already. And given your age, like, do you sort of then set those targets that this could be much more of, rather than, wouldn't it be good to get 1 or 2 top 30s, that this will just be a regular occurrence for someone like you, and that maybe we can push this sport in Australia where no longer are we looking at it as a ceiling, that, realistically, maybe we could be a podium country at some point in the future if we keep targeting that way.
Yeah, I think so. I think the first step is to be regularly in the top 30. And so like I've been pretty close. I was like, I think 2 or 3 seconds off in Lillehammer at the World Cup this year. And so it's like, it's right there, but I've talked to a lot of people about it. And I mean, especially the sprinters. I'm not a sprinter. So, but in the sprints, making the top 30 means you make the heats. And so you get to compete in the rounds. And that's a step that, like, once you break through that ceiling, apparently it's a lot easier to stay there. And I assume the same thing applies to distance skiing. So yeah, I think firstly, like, just to have more people or more like occurrences where Australians are regularly performing at that like highest, well, what we used to think was the highest level, then we can keep pushing the envelope. But yeah, I'm absolutely excited to see how far we can take it.
And in terms of that level, just on the topic of Milano Cortina, I mean, guessing that's the goal. Like, how are we tracking? What's sort of that looking like as, we get closer and closer to the upcoming season?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good, I think. We have what looks like going to be like a full team of women, probably a relay, which is super exciting. And the men's side, they're going to get quite a few men. So it might be quite a big team we're sending, which will be really good, which opens up opportunities for sort of a lot of us to go. So that's definitely the goal. That's the target. We'll prepare with doing like World Cups and all the things in preparation and qualifying for the team through World Cups. But yeah, I think sights set on Milan for sure.
Very exciting times. We recently just had on Mr. Phil Bellingham, and to talk to him about not only cross country, but his little pursuit of going towards ski mountaineering as well, which is just absolutely insane. But one thing that I said to Phil, and over the years when we've had numerous cross country skiers on, I've always talked about this camaraderie that you guys have. I remember talking to Sevi de Campo after Beijing, and kind of just the little videos that the team would put together and just lots of fun. And it always just seems like a stacked family that goes to cross country skiing, and it just seems like you guys are just like always having fun out there. I mean, just how close do you find the Australian cross country skiing, and how much does it help you being so far away from home for so long periods of time?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think what's really cool about it is that it's such a small sport in Australia in terms of like competing at the national championships and things. And so when you go, like when I go to Europe on a trip, it's like catching up with my friends from being a teenager. And so we've got a crew that, like, especially the ones from Sydney. So Hugo Hinkfus and Phoebe Cridland, I trained with them almost like 2-3 times a week. I think in COVID, I only saw Phoebe for like a month. It was like my family and Phoebe, and that was it. And we would train together every day. And so when you get back there, it's like seeing like sort of childhood friends. And so I think that definitely helps. And it's cool because we have this like very intergenerational team, or like it's very wide age range. Yeah. I think like on the World Cup team, Hugo's 22 and Phil's 34. So we have quite a big, Phil actually coached Hugo at one point. So we have quite a big range, and we all like we just get around each other and like having a good time. We are always in the dining hall the latest, always like playing games. We love to just sort of like hang out, have fun, laugh a lot. I think we're like pretty broadly like known as a very friendly team. So we talk to a lot of other teams, and I mean it's like pretty typical Aussie. We're pretty chatty, and we like we'll talk to the Brits and the and any other country. So yeah, it's a really cool team to be a part of. It's so fun to travel around with, and it's like pretty consistently the same people traveling. So you just get close with them, and you always hanging out with the same crew. So you kind of go back to Europe and you're like, oh, here's my little Aussie family.
And anything to get under the skins of the Norwegians, right? Like, Norwegians, the Swedes, like, come on, like, we get it, you're good. We get how good you are, but look at us, we're having fun, all right? Come on, have some fun.
Yeah, we're definitely, I feel like we're having the most fun, but maybe some other people.
Maybe Norwegians have a different type of fun. I don't know. We haven't had many, Norwegians on this show. We'll find out one day. What do you, I generally always ask this whenever we get like an Olympic medal or something, but I want to ask you, like, what do you do with the World Championship silver? Is this something that kind of is always with you and showing off, or like have you put it away for kind of safekeeping?
So it used to be on my wall here just above my bed, but I took it home and I gave it to my parents. So it's in my parents' house. It's currently sitting on a table. I don't know what they're doing with it. Dad said he was going to frame it with the medal, with the bib. But yeah, I have no idea. I left it. I was like, you guys, I don't know where I'm going to be. And I'm kind of traveling around quite frequently. I was like, I don't want to be responsible for this.
The Rosie Shrine. They've got to create a little shrine for you, surely. You can like
put a little thing up on the wall or something, and everyone can look at it when they come round.
Walk in the house, there it is. Boom, straight away. Like, oh, this old thing. Well, let me tell you a story, kind of.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll put it up. I think they probably will. Dad was really excited about it. So I think
how does that go on? How do you like, I love finding out how people bring it back through like luggage or like, flying. Like, do you take it on carry-on because it's a bit more precious cargo? Do you just shove it in the socks in the suitcase and hope that it ends up in, Australia? Like, how do you do that?
I had it on carry-on. I kept thinking I'd lost it though. After Italy, we went to Sweden and then to Norway, and then like there was four stops where I went, and I had it in my little like tote bag. There was a zipper pocket, and I kept thinking I'd lost it. And then everyone would see it and they'd get it out, and I was like, guys, where is that medal? Like, I can't lose this. I only just got it.
Yeah. You just go and buy another one. Like, come on, you've
I know. You can't like send an email to Fizz and say like, can you send me another one? I left it in the hotel.
Yeah.
And I lost a few things that trip. I lost a headband and I lost a raincoat. So I'm very glad I didn't lose the medal. But
probably
a small price to pay with the headband.
Those things are fine to lose. Yeah, but a world championship silver medal, maybe don't want to lose that one. Want to sort of backtrack just in terms of your path into cross-country skiing. So I believe you were actually a bit of a downhill skier, and you sort of transitioned quite late into cross-country skiing. Sort of what brought about that change into cross-country over sort of ski racing or downhill skiing, I should say?
Yeah. So I never really, I did interschools for downhill skiing, but I didn't really race it. But we just went with my family. My dad is like mad for downhill skiing. He loves it. So we would go in the school holidays, and through interschools, I guess, is how I got into it. We kind of had like a moguls team that was going to state, and we thought, we'll just do this cross-country race. And one of my family friends ran a program at a school, and one of the dads was teaching the kids to cross-country ski, and he said to my dad, like, just send your kids over, they can learn. And I was probably like 14 or 15. So I jumped in with this guy, David Hislop. He's an Olympian, and he taught me how to ski, and then I did interschools, and from interschools, I was like, this is kind of fun. I'd always run, so I'd been running since I was 9, running at like the schools and for a club in Sydney. So kind of just like naturally you got a bit of skiing and balance, and then combine it with the running fitness I had, and then I sort of just became a skier.
Wow.
I like to say I like accidentally fell into the sport. I had no intentions of, sort of being on the national team or traveling the world when I started the sport. I was just like, oh, I like this interschools thing. I'll do that. Oh, maybe I'll train. That'd be fun. Oh, yeah, sure. I'll do state champs. Oh, yeah, I'll do nationals. And then I guess that was when I was in year 9, so I would have been 15. And then in year 10, I was like, I'm gonna make the national team. That's my plan. So trained a little bit harder. Obviously kept up with the running and then I was on the national team and in Europe, and I was like, oh, I guess I do this now.
And you also made the Youth Olympics around about then, if I'm doing my calculations correctly, right?
That was in year 11 or year 12.
Right,
I went to the Youth Olympics. Yeah, I was pretty focused on running. We went to world schools with my running team for cross country, so I was pretty into the running at that point. And then the next year was trying to qualify.
Came about. Wow. So were you sort of with the running side of things, was this something growing up that you were like, Olympics, how far can I take that? Was that always sort of a goal of yours to achieve?
Well, I think so. I mean, when I was 9, I have this vivid memory of walking into school after we used to train at the high school down the road, and we would walk to my primary school, and I said, some girl said, like, why are you training for running? And I was like, I'm going to go to the Olympics. And she was like, sure. And I was like, yeah, I am. And I was like, okay, I don't know what. 9-year-old me was convinced.
Yep. You knew right then. You were like, damn, I'm going. Yeah. Yep, that's happening.
I definitely didn't even know cross country skiing was a thing at that point. But yeah, I think I always wanted to do sport, and sort of always picked the ones that I was the best at because it's more fun to win. And so I liked running. I was pretty decent at it. I think I was 3rd at nationals in the 5K when I was 20.
That's all right.
So yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, it took me to college too, so that was helpful. But yeah, I realized kind of when I was a teenager that I probably wasn't that good at running. And so
9-year-old you was a little bit cocky maybe at that point.
I was maybe a little bit too excited about this running thing after winning the school cross country carnival. But then I sort of was like, well, I'm good at this skiing thing, so I'll do that.
Keep going with that side of things. Maybe you can find that friend who you were just like, yeah, I'm going to the Olympics one day when you qualify for Milan. Like, told you, different sport, but I still told you on that level. Just on the Youth Olympics, though, we always love hearing sort of just about the experiences of that. Like, how did you find kind of that environment and like you're sort of saying about your progression through skiing, you're accidentally kind of in this. Like, are those sort of events ones where all of a sudden you think, well, hang on a minute, maybe I'm a skier. Maybe this is more than just being accidentally here. Like, this is legit. I'm representing my country at an Olympics.
Yeah. By the Youth Olympics, I think I was pretty sold on the whole skiing thing. It was really cool. I thought it was the first thing I went to where there was just an insane crowd. They had all the school kids from the area out there, and we had this 2.5K loop, and there was never a point on that loop where people weren't cheering. And I was like, this is so cool.
Wow.
I want to do this. Imagine what the World Cup would be like. That sounds even cooler. So it was super fun. And it was there with, we were there. There was 4 of us there from Australia on the cross country team, and we were all good friends. And so it was just a really fun time with everybody. And I was there the day, I remember when Josie Baff won the Youth Olympics. Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa, this is insane. She came back and we all looked at her medal, and I was like, this is crazy. We imagine being as good enough to win a medal. That's insane. I just thought I had a great day and I came 36th. So I was like, that is insane. That's so cool. One day, maybe, I was like, I will never win medals, but it would be pretty cool. So
fantastic.
Yeah, that was kind of the first time I really was like, wow. And I remember I said this stupid thing. She wins this medal and gives it, we all look at it and I go, oh, it doesn't even say what you won it for. Yeah, you're not going to forget.
Yeah, hang on. Did I win this in ice hockey, figure skating, or maybe snowboarding? What was that thing I did today? I can't remember.
I can't remember what boots I put on. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was really funny.
But also just that level of because for many athletes who don't get to say compete in Commonwealth Games, for example, I'm using that as a summer example, where there are so many sports where you're not going to go to these multi-sport events such as that. So to have a taste for that, to have a feel for it, and meet other athletes. You're meeting a Josie Baff. You're not going to meet Josie Baff at a World Cup, are you? Because the snowboarders generally aren't, competing with the cross-country skiers. So like kind of that, I guess, also opened you up a little bit more to seeing other athletes, and particularly from an Australian point of view, that, the winter community I know is also very close outside of just the single sport. So I guess that overall experience must also add to desire of pushing that towards we don't want to say the normal or the regular Olympics, but the non-youth Olympics.
I mean, just the Olympics.
Yeah, just the Olympics. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It was really cool to meet all these other sports and like just understand what they do, because we have no idea. I mean, we live in our little bubble where we're kind of the outliers. We do this like weird endurance sport. I remember going to the gym at N-Swiss the other day, and the guy was like, "What? There's this other skier who's been here." It's my friend, and she's been running on the treadmill. And I was like, "Yeah, we're cross country skiers." Like, that's, that's like and they're like, "Oh, that makes so much sense." We were like, "Why is a winter athlete doing so much endurance? That doesn't make what is she doing?" And so I think they think we're a little bit crazy because we go up hills and there's a lift. But it's really cool to work out how their sports work. And we actually had a really cool experience in Ruka at the World Cup where we went to the moguls.
Oh, nice.
And just a different sport. And we met the aerials girls, had dinner with them, and we were like, wow, tell us everything. We don't know anything about your sport. And they were sort of really interested in our sport, and they're just completely different worlds, but we're all on the same team and, in winter sports.
But that's what I love so much. We have every time we get a winter athlete from Australia on this show, Rosie, it's just that camaraderie. We're good friends with Dean Hewitt and Taylor Gill from curling. You see just the level of support they're getting from other winter sports. It's just, and I'm not doing this to shit all over our swimmers as I usually do at this point, or our summer athletes, but you don't often see that level of camaraderie. The sailors aren't often commenting on our swimmers' posts and they're a close little family. But when it comes to winter sports, it's not unusual to see a curler mixing with a cross-country skier, mixing with a snowboarder, mixing with a luger. It's just such a tight little thing. I love that. I love that so much about winter sports in Australia. And for people, I'm pointing at the camera right now, realize that we bloody do winter sports. I'm sick of hearing this we do winter sports in Australia. Yes, we do, and we're fucking good at it, all right? Come on.
Yeah. People always ask me oh, where's the snow?
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious? Up here in Alaska, I get questions all the time oh, is there even snow today? One of my professors was like, oh, I saw your Strava and there's so much snow. And I was like, yeah, there's heaps of snow in Australia. That's pretty normal. We get snow. We have snow. And we do compete in these sports. So
yeah,
it's cool that everybody's kind of gets around it, and all the other sports, even though we really live in completely different worlds in terms of what we actually do. Mm-hmm. But everybody gets pretty stoked on what other people are doing.
And that's the beauty of this period I like in a 4-year cycle, particularly for the winter games, and why I always like the winters more than the summer, because it gives you an opportunity to sell your sport, and people are starting to pay attention more so, Rosie. And it still, I really do hate it that still we are a country that only does this close to a Winter Olympics. And, outside of, and again, I'm not shitting on Scotty James, but outside of the Scotty Jameses and the big names, that you're also working your butts off for these 4 years. So this is that fresh period where it's yes, we can talk winter sports, and people are going to actually pay a bit more attention in our country because we need to celebrate winter athletes more in Australia.
Yeah. No,
I'm a cheerleader here, Rosie. Sorry, I just get on my cheerleader bubble.
I appreciate it. It's good. It's nice to hear people stoked on it, because I think cross-country skiing, not a lot of people know about, not a lot of people pay attention to. So it is really cool when you sort of see people outside of our little bubble, notice it. I mean, my mum was getting texts after that U23s medal, and she'd text me and be like, so-and-so's mum from primary school texted me. And I was like, that's really nice. That's super sweet.
Wow.
That was really cool. She just got random messages from all these people saying wow, that was so cool.
Do you enjoy that extra attention and stuff? Because again, back to my point about how sadly you're not getting that level of attention, but that obviously achievement, ABC, people like that are noticing it. But obviously now you're going to see in this cycle that a lot more outlets are going to want to talk to you, a lot bigger ones in this little podcast right now, Rosie. But, the Channel 9s, the Channel 7s, these places, do you enjoy that level of being able to finally, tell your story a little bit more and showcase that sport a bit more?
I think it's cool, but it was really weird at first. I was sort of wow, this is I think my phone had 500 messages on it when I looked at it in the dining hall that day.
Wow.
And I just looked at it and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just going to put it away. I sort of looked at this woman from the US who I know came over, and she was like, did you just look at your phone? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, that you can you don't have to look at that right now. And I was like, yeah, what's going on? It was insane. It was sort of like very overwhelming at the start, but then it's just such a privilege. It's like, oh, well, like we always dream for people to know what we're doing. I mean, it's cool to have people know what you're doing and care about what you're doing. So, sort of after I got over the whole like, wow, how do I even deal with this? I then was like, well, this is sick. Like I should probably like try to respond to as many people as I can and say thank you, because we've never had this kind of coverage on our sport or like any kind of spotlight necessarily. So I should like sort of, like soak it up, and might not ever get it again. So I may as well like see it as a positive and as a way to promote the sport and hopefully get more people involved in it, because it's a really cool sport. I just think like a lot of people don't know about it or haven't even really thought about trying. So
I can't ski for shit. I tried it once, ripped out, went back to the village and had a cocoa. But if I was to get over my chicken shit scaredness of it, I feel Nordic would be my discipline. I mean, I'm not doing downhill. I'm a wimp. Ski jumping. Look, I'd like to create history as Australia's first ever ski jumper, sure. But again, I'm a wimp. Whereas I think Nordic skiing to me looks like I could probably do that if I could do it. I mean, anybody says that every 4 years, I could do that. I say that about curling, tried it fucking hard. So I'm just saying.
I tried curling once too and I dislocated my shoulder.
You dislocated your shoulder? Wow. How did you manage that?
They were pretty bad to begin with, but we did it as a little team bonding exercise, and I did the curling and dislocated my shoulder. I went to my coach. I'm like, I'm going home. And she's like, yeah, you're good.
How did you do that? Did you crash and ski? No, just curling. Just.
No, just curling. I had to go into the physio and say like, sorry, I actually like dislocated my shoulder, but it was doing something stupid.
Okay. Jeez.
But yeah, Nordic cross-country skiing is interesting because our hills are smaller, but it's pretty scary. Like we do some pretty gnarly stuff on these little tiny skis. So the downhills are definitely like, actually maybe not the hardest part, because you also have to go up. I don't really know what's the hardest part, but definitely like in terms of fear, you see a lot of people be like, you want me to go down that on these? Yeah, you can make it look
look, any type of steepness to me, I'm going to shit myself, right? So, that way of level. I did ski, was it shoeing, where you put it on your feet and you walk through the snow? I did that once.
Snowshoeing,
Snowshoeing, thank you. Thank you very much. I clearly know my winter terminologies. And I mean, admittedly, you're just walking through snow, Ben. You don't really have to do anything, but, it's very entertaining. You're speaking to us in Alaska, and you've been there. We're talking a bit off air. You've been there for a few years now. What brought about the move to Alaska to do college over there, and what's it like living in Alaska? And I was saying how much I love that state when I've been there, but I mean, it must be an amazing experience.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, so kind of like an unconventional method of going to college. I heard about college first when I was like, I don't know, maybe 12 from my dad, because his friend's son went and played rugby, and dad was like, oh, you should go to college. That would be cool. And I was like, oh yeah, sounds good. I never thought about it. I was like, whatever. And then COVID was happening and I was like, I want to get out of here. I want to ski. That's what I want to do. And so I thought I would email you can find the email addresses of all the coaches. And there's about 30 Nordic skiing schools in the US. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are D3, so they don't have scholarships. So I sort of like kicked them off the list. And I emailed all the D1 and D2 colleges, every single coach. I like wrote up this email and I said like, hi there, I'm a skier from Australia. Can I please be on your team, and send this whole thing about myself? I got 3 responses. One said they would get back to me. Never heard back. One said I was too slow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like in those exact words, hi, but you're too slow, thanks? Or were they a bit nicer
pretty much
than
like, hi, but we're looking for like faster skiers.
Wow. Okay. Well, screw them.
And then my coach here said, there might have been another one that I talked to on Zoom. And then my coach here, she said, she's a running coach as well. She said, well, you're pretty fast at running. And I went, okay. And she goes, you can be on the running team. And I was like, please be on the ski team. And she was like, maybe. And I was like, you know what? That's good enough. So I booked a flight and I was like, cool, I'll come over here. And so I booked a flight. I came over here and I was like, so am I on the ski team? And she's like, yeah, you're on the ski team. And I was like, oh, good. Thank God. Like,
wow.
That would have been so I came all the way over here and wasn't on the ski team. And so then we have quite an unique program at my college. It's the University of Alaska Fairbanks. We have the head coach. She is the coach of both the running team and the ski team. So she oversees two assistants who kind of like the assistant running coach, he just like deals with the running team. And then the assistant ski coach works with her to deal with the ski team. So we have this like super unique program where we have a lot of dual athletes. And in particular, this girl called Kendall Kramer. She is like, I like to say I'm like Kendall, but just slightly worse. That's kind of my description of myself when I meet people. I'm like, yeah, I'm like Kendall 2.0, but like just like a little bit worse.
Diet Kendall.
And yeah, like if Kendall was like slightly worse at both running and skiing, that's me. So we trained and raced together like the entire 4 years. So I'm in a fifth year now because I redshirted a ski season, so I took a year off basically skiing for college last year so that I could go to World Champs. And so in those 4 years that I was here with her, we did everything together. We ran next to each other for probably 20 of the 21 minutes we raced.
Wow.
In cross country. We always came first and second in almost every race we did. I think I have 2 wins in the entire time.
Better
and
one
of them I got the school record and I'm the only one to go under 20 minutes. So I'm happy.
That counts more than all the others, let's be honest. Come on.
Like, yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
So we had another girl who ran with us the first time and we'd always be 1, 2, 3, the three of us in almost every D2 race except for nationals. And then in skiing, I would always be slightly behind. And I think I also have 2 wins in skiing. And one of them was at Junior Worlds or U23s.
You win the ones that matter. You just let her have the other ones.
It seems to. Yeah. I don't know how I pull it out when it counts, but somehow I do. But yeah, so having her on the team was pretty cool because then I just had like a built-in teammate friend who was exactly the same as me and did everything the same. And we always like, we'd meet at the beginning of the week and I'd say like, which sessions are you going to? Because we'd sort of talk about the skiing and the running. And she'd go, I was planning on going to this and this. And I'd go, wow, I was planning the same thing. Perfect. And so we kind of, it was like very ideal situation to have her as well. Cause then it's also really cool because when you're in a race, you kind of see your teammate and you go like, oh, well, she's there. So I'm there. Easy. Like no problems. And we skied at U23s in the 20K mass start. We skied next to each other for 18K. And like we are just like almost stuck together like glue. We made a joke. She's gone to race for a pro team now. And I was like, her mum was like, oh, this might be the last photo I get with you guys together at a race. And she was like, don't be ridiculous. We will never be. Like we're always.
You mean the Olympics next to each other, just like the whole way.
We'll be next to each other in the results list every time. So
wow.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, being up in Alaska is really cool. I'm like smack bang in the middle. I was saying before, right where you see Alaska on the map, that's pretty much where I live.
Where you are.
So it's inland. It's a pretty tiny town. It's like 30,000 people. And that's a big change from Sydney. I'm here and everyone's like, oh, I'm like, this is so small.
Yeah.
That's small. And I'm like, no, this is tiny.
Yep.
You kind of, I spent the first 2 years without a car and that I instantly felt much more free when I had a car. I have a car now and you can just like drive 20 minutes out of town and you're in the mountains. So it's pretty epic. And definitely just like having accessibility to get outside. But it's so cool. In the summer, you can be outside till, I think the sun never sets. And then in the winter, it's just like snow out my door. I can ski, like we have a locker room on campus and you walk 4 steps and you're on a trail. So it's like, it's just so easy to train and so convenient. And like, you know, it's like a pretty small town. It's pretty dark. It's pretty cold. There's not a whole heap to do except hang out with your friends. So we get really good at skiing. And I think like people love to ask us like, because my team we've been historically pretty good, especially in the last couple of years, at just producing like quite competitive NCAA skiers. And people always ask like, oh, what's the trick? And I'm like, there really is no trick. Like it's cold, it's dark, there's snow from October and everybody loves to ski. Like I ski with my friends who just like are randoms at the university are like, oh, can we go for a ski? I'm like, sure. Yeah, we can go for a ski. And so it's like, not only do you have training every day, but then you go out and like, you know, just before I was on this call, I was out biking with my just random friend. She's like, let's go road biking. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Like everybody does that. And so you always have people to train with and you always have like these sort of bonus sessions because like socializing involves rock climbing or ice climbing or skiing or riding bikes. And so
fantastic.
Yeah. It's a pretty awesome setup. I really like it here.
And it's the because it's very isolated, right? Like you sort of, you're not really near anything, but that kind of adds, I can imagine, a bit to the appeal because you feel so I mean, so in touch with nature, like as you were saying, you're able to go to these places and really experience that. Whereas maybe, no disrespect to growing up in a big city like Sydney, where, you know, some people never get out of the city, so they never even see a tree half the time, let alone a bloody mountain, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think also because it's a bit isolated, like the community is pretty strong. So you have like really good close friends and everybody has time. Like you can, organize something to happen that in an hour. Like, oh, can we go do this in an hour? And people are like, yeah, sure, I'll be there. Like, yeah, easy, no worries. And so like, I think it's nice having maybe like a smaller community than living in the city where everybody's busy and everybody has plans and there's big things happening all the time. And so it can be difficult to maybe organize to catch up and go do things. Whereas here it's pretty easy.
How much time does it take for you to get used to the wildlife? Because like I use this as an example that say like I've had friends come visit me in Australia. They'll see a kangaroo or something, things we see all the time, right? So us, it's nothing. But they're like, oh my God, it's a kangaroo. Like, things like that. I remember when I went to Alaska and I did some tour and we were going through just like the suburbs of Anchorage and a freaking moose was just like walking through like this is blowing my mind, but people are just treating like it's just like for us, a kangaroo walking down the street, right? It looks completely normal. Like, do you get used to that when you're seeing a moose or a deer or lo and behold, a bear or something like that just walking around?
I think the thing that it becomes is it's like really annoying. You see a moose, oh, I have to turn around now. Oh, I have to stop. I do though. Every time I see a moose when I'm riding my bike, I do this every time. I've done it like this summer. I just did it like 4 or 5 times. I see a moose, I unclip to stop and I tip the other way and I fall off my bike every time. One time I tipped into my friend and pushed her off her bike. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, sorry, I don't know. There's something about the moose. I unclipped the wrong foot and I tipped the wrong way and I don't know what to do. So, no, I know like we see moose at training a lot. I was training down in Anchorage this summer and we would often just be like, someone ahead in the group would go down. Like there were these some sort of like high school girls that went down and they were like, guys, stop. And we're like, what? And they're like, we just got charged. And we're like, okay, yeah, we're going to turn around. And the coach is like, everybody refocus and we'll do something else. And so, and also we had a time trial where there's like an asterisk next to a couple people's names, which is like stopped by moose for 20 seconds. So it is definitely like you get kind of like oh my goodness, there's a moose there. We have to avoid it, especially if it has a baby. But
yeah, because they're huge too, right? Like they're giant.
Yeah, and if they charge you, like you're dead.
And that's the thing that always like blows my mind about like people think Australia, like, oh, deadly animals. Yeah, sure. Like we've got venomous things that can kill, but we've got nothing giant in this country. Like, I mean, like a moose coming at you, a bear, a cougar. Like, I mean, yeah, okay, if I'm going to see a snake, I don't want it to bite me. But generally, unless you tread on it, you can kind of get away. Like if you've got a fucking moose coming at you, you're not getting away from that.
No, you kind of just like, you can scream at them. And sometimes they usually, bears you can usually scream at. You say like, go away, bear, go away. And they like run away sometimes.
Literally, go away, bear. If you
just like straight. You can scream anything.
I'll walk away.
They usually do. But it's almost really funny. Like I did this bike ride where I rode 200K down through this road down to this town called Valdez, and we didn't see a single bear or moose. And then we got into town and there was a bear. And I looked at my friend and I was like, this is ridiculous. And she's like, yeah, what the heck? Why is there a bear here all of a sudden?
My favorite memory, I think, when I was there, I met up with a friend and we went up some hike up in Anchorage, beautiful little hill. And then all of a sudden, like she goes like, you see the news the other day about a person got mauled to death by a bear? I'm like, oh yeah. Like, and this is the first time I think at that point in like 30 years that somebody in Anchorage had been killed by a bear. I'm like, yeah, I saw that. I'm like, yeah, just happened right there. And I'm like, great, thanks for bringing me up here. I feel like super safe all of a sudden. Can we go back to the car? I was just like, cool.
Oh, there's a bit of that, but everybody carries like bear spray, which is like pepper spray, basically. Mm-hmm. The idea is you spray the bear and I don't know.
It's got to be pretty close to you to spray it, unless you got like a fucking gun or something. You go like in the distance.
I'm scared though. I clutch it. I'm like, guys, do we need bear spray for this? And I mean, I don't know. It's a little. The bears scare me more than the moose because we don't have bears in town in Fairbanks, so we're not really worried about them. But we do have moose, and so we see them all the time.
Get used to moose. Okay, all right, there you go. I'm sure that's the standard Australian in Alaska question. Talk about the moose and the bear. That one's ticked off the list, right? So,
A lot of people love to ask me they're like, oh, snakes and spiders are way scarier. I had a debate for 2 hours with one of my teammates. He was telling me how scary snakes and spiders are. And I was like, you're so wrong. And then did a poll on Instagram and actually he won both sides. So
okay.
I don't know if that was the American audience, but
so to clarify, that's the snakes and spiders are scary in Alaska, or they mean versus Australia versus the moose?
Snakes and spiders are scarier than bears and moose, just like as a concept.
Okay.
There's no snakes and spiders in Alaska, so
that's the beautiful thing about when I've lived overseas in places like that. Like I'm honest, I'm shit scared of spiders, like big ones, like little ones I don't give a shit. But like I used to love it when I'd be overseas and somebody would be like, spider, it's so big, and you're like, it's not big. It's like the size of a 50-cent coin. So you hear that overseas, you're not scared. You hear the word spider in any context in Australia, I'm like, no, I'm out. No, sorry. I'm gone. I'm not looking at that thing. So snakes don't bother me. Spiders, no, I'm good. Thank you very much. That does that way. Rose, we're going to get to a set of get to know questions in just a moment. We always wrap our interviews up. But the one fact I loved reading about you on one of your bios, growing up, you wanted to be an astronaut. Now, is this something that is still there? Like after all the Olympic success and medals and everything, that you're going to maybe go down south, go to Houston, go to NASA, something along those lines?
So actually, at one point I did look up what it would take to be an astronaut, and I believe that you have to be an American citizen or a citizen of someone with a space agency, and we don't have a space agency.
Well, we've seen this. Andy Thomas maybe he became an American, but I know we've had at least one Australian astronaut. So
I don't know. Anyway, I always tell people that if I was offered tomorrow, like this is tomorrow, is like if I was offered tomorrow to go to space and never return, I would take it. So. Because I feel like it's so cool. Anyway, I think the idea of space is epic. I would love to be an astronaut at some point. I don't know if that'll ever happen, to be honest, but I did spend a bit of time looking it up at one point.
You got to do it though. You got to follow your dreams. I like that. You could be like, don't they always have those like ones where it's like, hey, we're some rich, Elon Musk type company. We're going to send people to Mars. Catch is you never come back. Like you could like, if that's,
Yeah. I think those are like not very well fleshed out though. But I do have, I'm studying statistics and I hear they like mathematicians.
Okay. All right.
I think engineers and doctors are more useful, but like maybe I have some kind of marketable skills with my mathematics brain.
Hey, they need people to do stats somewhere in space, I'm sure, right?
I mean, surely someone needs to run the code. But no, definitely a dream. I would love to go to space. I think that would be sick.
Yeah. I think I had that period of an astronaut briefly, but again, as I've said a few times, I'm a chicken. So, the idea of like going fast and flights wasn't going to, bode well with me. But I think that you could be like Katy Perry. She's an astronaut now, isn't she? So,
I feel like you have to do something.
Go into real space, not just
to the world of science. You can't just fly up and come back down.
Poor Katy Perry. She tried to become an astronaut. She did that as well. But I mean, I love seeing those sort of facts when people want to do that and kind of have that. And I just think that, you've got this silver medal, you create a history for Australia in one sport, keep going for the Olympics. Who knows? I mean, all Katy Perry does is sing, right? You're skiing hard. Like it's harder than singing, going that long and hard in the snow with the blizzards and the moose and all that kind of stuff, right? So you got some medals to show for that. I'm sure NASA might be on the phone. Elon, we on the phone? You're like, yeah, come on up. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go to space. That would be sick. I would love to go to space.
Yeah, I think just keep going. I don't know what the pathway is for Australian Olympians in the future, because times are changing, right? But you never know. Like after the Brisbane Olympics, there could be all this funding. All of a sudden, the AOC could be like, you know what? Space.
We'll send her to space.
we made such a profit from the Brisbane Olympics. What can we do with this money? Send athletes to space. Why not?
Yeah.
Who needs new stadiums and to produce new Olympians? Just send them off to space. That's what we're saying. Sending out to the AOC. Rosie, we wrap it up with a set of 10 get to know yourself questions. As always, we now ask the standardized ones to all of our guests to make it interesting and keep it all under the one roof. And I'm going to start off with the one thing that you never leave home without when traveling to a competition. And you're not allowed to say skis because that's the obvious one.
Oh, yeah. Lots of skis. I actually have this funny little stuffed animal that I always take with me.
Okay.
And it's really funny. My dad made it. So when I was this is a kind of requires some explanation. When I was a small child, my dad used to tell me that we had this funny joke in our family about being like part tortoise, part leopard. because
Okay.
I do like an endurance sport.
Yep.
This was mostly with running. And so you have to get the percentage of tortoise and leopard correct, and then you'll succeed. And so every day, like every race, I would call my dad and he'd be like, all right, so I think it's like 70-30 today. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Sounds good. I mean, he's no idea. Like he doesn't run or ski. I mean, he skis, but recreationally. And so that kind of like became this ongoing joke. So then one day before I left for actually World Schools cross country running when I was in year 10, he came home with a sort of tortoise stuffed inside, a leopard stuffed inside a tortoise shell.
Wow.
So I bring that with me everywhere because it's like kind of funny. And it's
do you
like
have it? Do you have a photo of that you could send us? Or
I have it, right?
Oh, please,
I
I need to see this like leopard tortoise thing.
This is the creation.
Oh, that is amazing.
Like a leopard tortoise. So yeah, I bring this guy with me everywhere. His name's Horace.
Horace. Wow. The leportus or the tortipid?
I don't know. I guess we didn't really name the animal, but that's up to me or my dad, I guess.
Yeah,
to come
no,
up
you
with.
do. There's wow. I mean, we have a mascot on this show that we usually try to pronounce. I'm giving you Horace is the winner here. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think Horace needs to go with a silver medal with your mum and dad, like when you win, more stuff, right? Like, just.
Oh yeah, no, but I like to have Horace with me. So
Can Horace like have a replica Horace?
Oh, we probably could. Yeah, I have to ask you to go back to wherever we got them.
Please, Channel 9 again. I'm looking to the camera deep down. When you are interviewing her in the lead up to the Olympics, you talk about Horace. You've got that one for free, Channel 9. So like go to town on that. That will get some views. I'm telling you now on their Olympic coverage. Horace is kind of a traditional superstition you follow before every big competition. But do you have any other sort of superstitions or traditions that you do before a race?
Oh yeah, I do all this like I don't know. I always wear this snowflake necklace.
Okay.
I believe I actually lost. This is actually a new one. I lost the one my grandma gave it to me, and I lost the one that she originally gave to me. Because I broke the chain, and then she was like, she can't be racing without a snowflake, so she sent me another one.
Oh, that's sweet.
Which was nice. That's probably that. I always wear my socks on the wrong feet.
Okay.
So like have a little left and right. I put the left one on the right foot and the right one on the left foot. Don't know why I do it, but I've done that.
Interesting.
For a long time, and I change my hairstyles a lot, but like once I find a hairstyle that's like been good, I do it. So right now I do 2 braids into a bun.
Okay.
And I mean, that changes sometimes, but like that's been like a season thing. So I do all this weird stuff. I'm not really like a superstitious person, but I've like got all these weird
You've got these
things
quirks and things that you sort of do. Yeah.
It's like if I don't have this necklace, because I like to like put it in my mouth when I'm just before I start, and then I'm like, it's not here. Oh, what am I doing? I can't race today. It's like, that's impossible. How could I race without the snowflake necklace, like doing something special? It's got powers or something.
Well, you got to. I'm all for that. I think that works, and you got to have it. And it's that value that it has that works, right? Horace could wear one as well.
Yeah. I should tell my grandma to get one for Horace.
Horace-sized necklace. That could work. Yeah. The powers combine. It's like the
that would be crazy.
Captain Planet.
We'll break the ceiling of this. We thought we'd reached it, but
you are winning a gold medal in Milan as soon as Horace gets that necklace. I'm telling you now. And this is the moment that you discovered it. So you're welcome. A song that is on every one of your pre-competition playlists, no matter what.
Oh, I actually only listen to the same playlist before racing now. It's a playlist that my friends play at their raves. Yeah.
Just common raves. That's what we do in Alaska. Saturday rave.
Well, actually, they're not that frequent, but they play good music. These are these friends of mine, and one of them sent me some songs, and I sent him a text, and I said, actually, can you just send me the whole playlist? And he was, it's 6 hours long, but I listened to it in order.
Wow.
There's one song that I hate that I skip every time, but it starts with, what does it start? I think it has like Summertime Sadness on it, like the remix version. Yep. There's a few others. It's pretty good. It's a what does it start? It starts with like Outside.
Oh yeah.
Can't Stop Us Now. There's a good one called Winnebago. Anyway, lots of good stuff coming out of these. These raves. The last at my birthday party, we played that playlist, and I was like, "Oh, this is my pre-race.
This is going down." Like, wow.
My playlist is your pre-race, and I was like, "Yep."
Have they renamed it to like Rosie's playlist now, just to in honor of you?
It's actually called Rave.
Oh, okay. Rosie's Rave. Like
I don't know. I guess it's not mine. So
make it yours. Yours now.
Piggybacking off this playlist.
Again, it's taking you to an Olympics. It's yours now. All right, I'm telling you. That's what's going
I'll
to
claim it.
You mentioned before about the amount of messages and missed calls and everything that you get before, after the World Championships, but this could be related to that or any other time. The most unexpected or funny DM that you've ever gotten.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, actually, I got a really funny one, like literally 2 days ago.
Okay.
So I trained with this squad in Anchorage, and the coach was Polish. And one day I wore a Polish T-shirt to training, and he posted on his Facebook. And then the Polish ski team posted a picture of me on their Facebook, saying something in Polish, like, is this a new Polish star? And one of the Polish kids, she sent it to me and was like, this is really funny, and then translated the message.
Wow.
And I was like, what in the world?
So you're huge in Poland, basically, and you didn't even know it.
Yeah, so this is ridiculous. So that was probably like the weirdest, most recent one that came to mind. But
wow. I love it. That like you never know. All of a sudden, it's like cool, great, and then all of a sudden, if things don't happen for Milan for Australia, you might get the call up for the Polish Olympic team.
Yeah, I guess they love me there, so I probably would need like some kind of citizenship or something.
Yeah,
but, you know,
people listening in Warsaw.
I'm posted on their Instagram or their Facebook page, so you know, just in my shirt I traded at a race with one of my friends. So.
New Polish skiing sensation, basically. I love that. The weirdest thing that you've ever eaten at an international competition, and did you like it?
Ooh. Oh, we have pretty standard food there at races. I mean, we just go to Europe. There's a lot of like, I guess in Norway, a lot of people have brown cheese. That's kind of weird. I'm not really a big fan of brown cheese, to be honest.
We get a lot of Norway answered. Norway and China are our two most common answers in this section.
I haven't raced in China, so I don't know. But yeah, there's also this like funny like cake that they make, and at the World Cup for some reason they had this marzipan cake like every day.
Ooh.
And it was like, I don't usually like marzipan, but it was quite good.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we pretty much, I mean, we just eat like rice, and we eat like carbs, like pasta.
All the
rice.
carbs, all that. Do you have, I know a lot of people answering this one, they'll mention reindeer, and I had reindeer when I was in Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's pretty standard though for Alaska though, isn't it? Reindeer?
Yeah. That's normal. Reindeer moose.
Yeah.
But that's like good stuff.
Yeah.
I like.
I enjoyed reindeer. It was quite nice. It was quite nice when I tried it. So, speaking of food though, your ultimate guilty pleasure meal after a big competition, what's the food that you always love going to?
Or I like to eat like a bag of chips.
Oh yes.
This is really simple, but I
does
just
the
love
job.
like a bottle of apple juice, a bag of chips, and I will like at the end of training or at the end of racing just like sit in my bed and just like drink apple juice and eat chips. That's so good.
Diet of champions right there. That's what I say.
Yeah. I mean, we don't eat that healthily really. Like we're always stuffing our faces with lollies to try to get the carbs up. So it is nice to have something salty sometimes.
Lollies is always one that I do keep hearing a lot from cross-country skiers. I find that very interesting. But like, what flavour chips? Like, do you have a go-to flavour when it comes to it?
I like salt and vinegar.
Oh yeah, okay, good one. Yeah,
salt and vinegar chips, apple juice. It's just you can't go wrong. Really.
Do you find that the salt and vinegar is a different flavour in the US than Australia? Because I always find it's not the same, is it? Like, you know.
No, it's not as good here.
Yeah.
But in general, I would say that the like sort of packaged food is just not, it doesn't hit the same.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
The home stuff is way better.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you there. I mean, there are some food in America that I will stand on a mountaintop and say better than Australia, but there are some that, you know, sorry, America.
Yeah, not chocolate and not chips.
Oh, God, no.
It's not.
Hershey's versus Cadbury, it's not even a competition. Like, how do they think the Hershey's is good? Like, I mean, it's fine. It's just basic. To me, Hershey's, and I'm going to piss off a lot of people by saying this, it's like when you go to the reject shop and you just get that $2 chocolate. That's to me what Hershey's is, right? It's basic.
I had someone tell me the other day, and I thought it was a pretty accurate take, that it tasted like candle wax. I was
that's a good call.
You know what?
Yep.
That's true. You're so right.
That is a solid thing. Cadbury's, like, I don't know if you've been to New Zealand, like Whittaker's chocolate. Like, that is good chocolate.
I just won some Whittakers at the national champs, actually.
Oh.
And whole block of it, and I ate it in a day. It was so good.
That's why you go to national champs, is to win Whittakers.
Yeah, like I just want to. All I want is to win.
Bugger being national champ, I want my fucking Whittakers. That's why I'm doing it, right? Like, God, this is another thing I always discover: athletes win the best prizes. Like, I remember Greta Small telling us once she won like a thing of Chupa Chups at an event once. Like, why do winter athletes get such cool prizes for winning events?
I don't know. It's really cool when you win. So actually the coolest race, and I haven't yet won a race here or been on the podium here, but at the NCAA races in Bozeman, Montana at MSU, they always win a belt buckle.
A belt
and
buckle?
It's so cool. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like a Montana State University belt buckle. And I was fourth there the last time I raced there. And I was like, no, I want the belt buckle. But we're going back this year.
You'll get one. You'll get one.
I'm hoping that I can win a belt buckle because that is like really cool.
Yeah. No, we're gonna get to the bottom of which winter sport has the coolest like prize to win. Because again, sorry, summer sports, you just don't win cool prizes like our winter athletes. You really don't.
No, a really cool one I won once as well was a bowl.
A bowl.
It's like a bowl that's been like made by some potter or something, and it's like the perfect cereal bowl. Like I've never had a better cereal bowl, and I was like, all I want is to eat cereal out of this bowl. So thank you, University of Utah, for giving me the bowl when I came third.
It's honestly the convenience, right? You've been sitting there the whole life going like, fuck, I hate eating cereal. I just can't find the right bowl. And you get University of Utah, you've hit the nail. There it is. Yes. Beautiful. My cereal.
Best bowl ever. I tell everyone, I'm like, don't you dare take my bowl. That's my bowl.
I love that. So good. Speaking of other sports, if you could swap sports for a day with another Olympian, what event would you choose and how do you think you'd fare? It could be summer or winter as well.
Ooh. Look, I think it would be pretty cool to play soccer because women's soccer is taking off at the moment.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that would be cool. It would be cool to be like, I don't really know. Like, I don't really care who. Anybody on the Matildas.
Yeah.
And I think I would be, well, okay, I'm just like wildly uncoordinated. So I probably wouldn't be that good at the whole like kicking the ball thing. I used to play soccer and my job was always to just run a lot until soccer and hockey. I was just told like run until the person you're defending is too tired to run anymore. You should just keep running.
Just chase them.
And one point in hockey, someone was trying to tire me out running back and forth. And I said, you should probably stop running. And she was like, well, I'm not going to get tired. And she was like, really? And I was like, no.
Wow.
And so I think I would be like maybe a useful, like just annoyance on the field. Like they could maybe like, use me just to like get in the way of someone.
That serves a purpose, right?
Yeah. So I feel like I would be okay. I mean, look, everybody says they'd be okay and then they probably suck. But, I'm not saying I'd be good at anything to do with kicking the ball.
I said that about your sport earlier, so I think it's fine that you can say that about things. So I think
me to say that about something else.
Sam Kerr needs a backup. So let's be honest.
Yeah, like I could be the one that runs around.
Yeah.
To get whoever she's trying to get away from her, and then she can score all the cool goals and do the backflips.
It's like in Forrest Gump, right? Like he literally you just run. Like we'll give you the ball, you just run. That's all you need to do. So you can just do that. Simple. I like that. That works. And it's you talk about how big soccer is. I mean, Sam Kerr is Australia's biggest athlete right now in any sport, right? Just transcends mountains. So that'd be a cool one to be. I like that one. If your Olympic journey were a movie, Rosie, what do you think the title would be, and who would play you?
Oh my goodness. The title. Wow, this is quite.
We've got some help if you need. Like we always go to ChatGPT for this one and have a bit of fun with it.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm a big fan of generative AI, so I love to take suggestions. But I think who would play me?
Ever had a doppelganger? Anybody ever said that you look like someone or?
No, not really. Not in. I feel like it has to be an Australian actor, so we'll whittle it down to that. But I don't really know who, to be honest. I mean, someone with like blonde, curly hair, maybe.
We don't really have. Yeah, that's a good one.
No, we don't. That's the thing. The curly hair is hard to find.
I'm thinking not Australian, but like Florence Pugh, I think could pull it off. I think she could pull that look off. I feel. I'm thinking curly hair, but not blonde curly hair. In terms of who could do it, there's again not Australian, and I've gone blank on a name. She was in, I think, Pretty Little Liars, one of those type shows. Annalise McCord, I think her name was, or Annalyn McCord or something. Maybe I'm drawing. I might be aging myself there as well when it comes to these actors. But I could see her pulling that off. So, okay, you want to hear some titles? ChatGPT, though, is giving some title ideas. So some of the, again, they fall a bit flat, but I've chosen one for something here, which I'll show in a second. But they've gone with Southern Skies, Northern Snow. That's kind of crap. The First Track. I don't know where they think you grew up, but from the outback to the Alps. Don't know if Sydney's really in the outback, but sure.
I'm not sure about that one.
Breaking the Ice, Australia's Trailblazer, the second place that made history. got some potential.
Okay.
Yeah. Snowbound Aussie, down under, on top. I feel they always use that one whenever we do this. So I feel.
Oh, I've actually seen that. The athletic conference that we raced with would be like from down under to the top of the results. And I was like, okay, that's not that unique. But
Yeah,
well
no,
done.
I think that one gets used out there. Frosted green and gold. But I've gone with number 10 for a poster. They've just said Rosie's Run. I'm like, well, that maybe sounds the most unique of all of them.
Yeah, it's giving a bit like Eddie the Eagle, but not quite. Like I like the alliteration.
Yeah. So it's a bit like, so we've gone and we've run it through a poster, and I'm going to hold this up, and if you can see this one here. So they've gone with Rosie's Run, the second place that made history.
Oh, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
They've done a weird depiction of what I look like.
I don't know if that's quite you. They've tried. But I love it in the background though with these ones when you mention like Australian, and I always swear, like if you look carefully there, that is a kangaroo in the yellow there. I think like
there is for sure
cheering you on.
I don't mind the poster. I think it's pretty good.
It's not bad.
Sure, I think the title we could work on that a bit, but
I think so. I'm not. Yeah, they've tried at least for our.
I'm definitely like more of a maths girl, not a creative girl. So this is it's going too many brain cells to try.
Definitely not you. I'm sorry. I'm just going to hold this up a little bit. Honestly, looks more like me than you, I think. If you're going to hold that side by side with me, not you. So anyway, our audio listeners, please go to our video version. Check this out right now. You can see what we're talking about. 2 more to go here, Rosie. So the one question you are tired of being asked, and what is the one that you wish people would ask you instead?
Okay, so because I live in Alaska, as soon as I speak, people go, and where are you from? And I go, I'm from Australia. And they go, why are you here? And I go, because I'm on the ski team. Oh, how do you ski if you're from Australia? I'm like, I'm like, okay, great. So that I'm a bit tired of explaining how there's snow in Australia and how you get into cross-country skiing and how skiing works.
You need to have like a QR code or like a business card you just hand them. Like
I should like direct all questions here.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. I think it would be cool I think obviously people want to know about skiing, but I have a lot of other things that I do too that I think are cool to share with other people, like other stuff I like to do.
And go on. What are some things? Tell us.
Well, I obviously like studying, so I like to do statistics. I really like going outside and riding my bike. I love when people talk about bikes. That's fun. And I think just like, I guess just like I'm also like a normal person, so I'm not. I do have like hobbies and things. Like
reply that to the people who ask you. I'm just a normal person, all right? Like I'm
just a normal person here, please. But no, look, I don't really mind answering it. Really, I mean, the is there snow in Australia question is probably like really kind of annoying, but I'd rather people ask like what I actually do and where the results.
I think to throw people off, to really throw them off. Tell them that we're hosting the Winter Olympics in 2032 because you're technically not wrong because Brisbane in 2032 is having the Olympics in Australia's winter. So just saying.
That could be good. I could say, there's so much snow we're even having the Winter Olympics.
Mm-hmm. And you're not lying because we are.
Lying.
Just with
we're
summer
having the
sport.
Olympics in winter. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's it. But the QR code might work. Like direct all. Here are your answers, and just have like a video.
Here are your answers to the generic questions if you have any more. Yeah. No, I really I don't mind answering it that much. I'm a bit sick of the accent thing. Like, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a 10-minute conversation now. Just as soon as Australia.
You force them to like guess. That's where I always like to find.
Oh, I do, and they go, oh, New Zealand.
Oh yeah, that hurts. You'd rather than say England. To be fair, don't you? Right. Yeah. That's not New Zealand. Last one for you, Rosie. What is one lesson that you have learnt from losing that has shaped you more than winning?
Ooh, I think learn from losing. I think like probably just like that. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. I think like at the end of the day, like it's really cool what we do. It's awesome. But like, losing isn't going to make a difference to like when you go home and like, like I don't know, everyone still loves you. Like nobody's like, if you don't win, that's it. So I think it's cool because it drops the stakes. And then when the stakes are down, you like are not pressured or under stress to win. And I think, especially being like an Aussie cross country skier, like we're like pretty used to being in the back of results to losing. But, it's like, it's not like being, 50th instead of 30th is like really that big a difference in the grand scheme of the world. Like we're all just out here having fun and everybody's out there having fun. And so I think that like, obviously you want to win because I love winning. I always want to win. But if you don't, it's really like, it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. Like the sun is still going to come up the next day. Like, there's no like, like the stakes are not necessarily as high as like people think they are, and you always have another chance. So I think especially racing so frequently, like I race pretty often from August until July until March. And so like you really just can't sit there and mull over losses. You have to be like, all right, moving on. Well, we'll just forget about that. And I like to forget. I just go like, oh, that was bad. It's gone. It's out of my memory. It's disappeared. We have no like I go like, that was a bad race. Okay, cool. Moving on. We'll have a good one tomorrow. And I always say to my teammates, like, oh, I didn't do it today, especially with like top 30s on World Cup. Like I've been trying to do that all season last year. And I was so close a few times. And every day I'd come back into the team room and they'd be like, oh, Rosie, you were close. And I go, yeah, I'll just do it tomorrow. No worries. And they're like, you just do it tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, no worries. I'll just do it tomorrow. I didn't do it, but I will do it tomorrow. Whenever that tomorrow is. So I think that's a cool thing to like remember, is be like, oh, it doesn't really matter. I can do what I want to do tomorrow. There's another chance.
Great attitude. And it also seems like too, you forget when you do well, because then you come back and like, oh, posters. Oh, I did that thing. So yeah, that too. So, it'll go there tomorrow. Rosie, this has been so much fun. We really appreciate you joining us and telling us your story and helping us learn a little bit more about you and everything that you've achieved. If people want to keep following the journey between now and Milano Cortina and beyond, social media, where can people sort of follow your journey?
Yeah, mostly just on my Instagram, which is Rosie and then another E, Fordham. But if you look up Rosie Fordham, I'll probably show up. So yeah, that's kind of where I post everything. I also have a Strava. It's public.
Okay,
I post everything I do. So if people like, seeing what I do on Strava, it's
and they see the snow, and then they ask you the stupid questions.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the snow, and where does that come from?
So that way as well. Fantastic. Do you have TikTok? Yeah. Are you on TikTok at all?
No, I'm not on TikTok.
All right. I just like to ask you. I just like sounding like that old guy. Like, you got the TikTok?
Yeah, no, I think I would doom scroll too much if I had TikToks. Keep it to Instagram. It's a bit doom scroll Instagram.
That's where it's at. Rosie, seriously, thank you so much. Best of luck, and we'll definitely get back on after the Olympics and find out how it all went for you there in Italy.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me.